Reactive versus proactive. I spoke about that earlier, and I spoke to you about it from a spiritual aspect, a spiritual perspective, as us working, as us walking as believers of the Lord. And now, the other thing that the Lord wants me to talk about is recognizing reactive versus proactive behaviors in your relationships, whether it is friendships, whether it is your ministry at church that you are a patron at in, or you may be leading, and also, and or someone that you're married to, someone you are dating. You have to recognize the reactive behaviors versus proactive. Is this person reactive or proactive? If there's a problem, if something has been brought out, are they proactive in trying to understand what has caused a problem, what your concerns are, identifying it, being able to identify where they may have come up short within themselves, and being proactive in engaging and listening and exchanging together to prevent potential problems in the future? First, let me give you the definitions. Reacting, it occurs as a result of a stress or emotional upset. So if something happens, a stress occurs, the person goes into action. If there is a stress of some sort, they become emotionally upset, whether it's anger or just being afraid, fearful. They're responding, they're reacting based on the situation. And then we have proactive, which is controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened. So being proactive in identifying and in being proactive in identifying and preventing potential problems. So sometimes you will find that there are people in your lives, in whatever capacity, you're going to know who they truly are if they are just reactive versus proactive. Are they interested in having a true friendship, the give and take of friendships, the equal exchange, the equal being able to look out for one another? Are you the good friend, but then they're the ones that's there when they want to be and other times not? Is this a good partner for business? When things occur, can you guys talk about things? Do you have the same vision? Are they trustworthy? Is there an equal exchange in this business partnership, in this church, whether it's your fellow patron or your leaders? Is there consideration one to another, respect for one another? And in your personal relationship, whether it's someone that you have a love interest, someone that you're getting to know, or someone you are married to, how are they? Even your children, are they listening to you when you're speaking? Are they considerate of your needs? This is children and spouses and relations alike. Are they hearing you? Is there an equal exchange and understanding? You understanding where they're coming from, they're understanding where you're coming from, and coming together in the middle and saying, okay, we've identified what was the problem. This is the plan moving forward to do better. I will do, we will come together to make sure that it is working as we planned, and doing what we can to make this relationship work, to build trust again, to keep equal and mutual respect. That is being proactive. Is that happening? Or does the person continue to do certain things over and over again? It could be you doing it. You do certain things, and then when that person becomes upset, or when you become upset, then that's when they're reacting. They'll give you the emotional responses of, oh my gosh, I don't want you to leave me. Please don't leave. Oh, please don't go. Or I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Explanation, explanation, explanation. A profuse rush of promises and excuses and why this happened, but not being proactive in preventing it from occurring over and over again. Not being proactive in keeping a word and a promise. Let's give an example. A child is getting in trouble a lot in school, but when there is going to be punishment, when things are going to be taken from them, they are reactive. They begin to gush out with all the things that they're going to tell you, how they were stressed and all these different things was going on, and there's excuses and promises. I promise, please don't take my phone, please don't take my game, please don't keep me from going to martial arts classes, please don't take this from me. Whatever they are pleading for, at that point they're going to be reactive, because now there is a stress or an emotional upset, and they're going to say and do anything that they need to say to get you to not take the action that you plan on taking. So then you can do that. You say, okay, but then after the adrenaline dies down and okay, that was close. Are they being proactive now in doing what they need to do? Are they ensuring that they're studying? Are they ensuring that they are balancing? They're going to bed early. They're putting studies before game time. They are doing the things and carrying out the chores and the tasks and the things that maybe they said that they would do. Being proactive is them seeing what has occurred, seeing the result of it, the near miss, the consequences of it, and now putting things into place that's going to identify what happened before and putting things into place to prevent themselves from being in that again. So the child can be reactive or proactive. Reactive is in the moment. Proactive is, I don't want this to happen again. I see what has occurred and I don't want this to happen. I've heard what my parents had, what their concerns were. I'm going to change, and I'm going to follow with my parents in what they're telling me to do, and even do a bit more to ensure that I don't end up being where I was earlier and almost in all this trouble. Or the child can go, oh, that was close, and now figure out they can be proactive in learning how to be more sneaky so they don't get caught, or being better in what is going to work for everyone, benefit all parties. So this is where integrity and honesty and character kicks in. You can have a spouse, someone that you're in a relationship with, something is not working. There are concerns about spending, and they could be a reactive way to be when the bills come in, and when there is an argument going on, when there's a threat of I'm cutting up these cards, I'm closing this account. Threats, it could even be, I am tired of you putting us in this position. I am going to send my money elsewhere. Or it could even be a potential loss of the marriage because of the financial hazards the spouse may be causing. And so the person can get reactive because of what's happening at the moment. They're going to say and do anything to prevent action from being taken. They're emotional, but they're not proactive in keeping their word and realizing the stress that this has caused, being honest and upfront, sitting with their spouse and talking about this, figuring out the core of this habit of putting the family in this financial bind, and being being very open and candid, and being very transparent in future transaction and potential temptations to do the same thing, engaging their spouse in that so they can be proactive together to do what? Identify the problem and work together to prevent this infiltration from happening again. But there are many people that will react at that moment because of what they don't want you to do and what they want, but they don't have any intentions of doing anything to prevent it and to work on maintaining the relationship. What's important to them is how they're feeling at that moment, and the steps that you're getting ready to take, they want to stop it because it's not conducive. But they're not interested in mending that divide and that what has caused problems. And you have to be able to identify that in friendships. You have to be able to recognize that in relationships with someone that you may look at as a potential partner for the future. You have to really look at the things that they do and what they don't do. Is this person reactive, where they may continue to do certain things over and over again, and they just react? They react in apologies, they react in tears, they react in a sob story, they react in being angry, not taking responsibilities. Or are they proactive in the matter, identifying what the problem is? You both come together and discuss it and talk about it, and they are ensuring that they're not gonna put themselves in a position to cause something to occur again. Cheating. A cheater, someone who has issues, they're flirty, they're cheating. They do certain things over and over again. And when they are caught, they're reactive. Please don't go, I'm sorry, or what are you talking about? They can be reactive in blaming you, saying it's all you. So what if I talk to this person? So what if I'm doing this? So what if he's calling me? So what if she's calling me? They don't care. Or reactive that could even reactive, just putting it all on you. I'm not doing anything. Or please, I've been caught and this and that is going on. And I've been stressed and we were just friends and I didn't know, I didn't realize. All these things are reactions. But with all the things that they didn't realize and with all the things that they didn't mean to do, were they proactive in understanding what has happened, identifying how it occurred, and putting preventative measures in place to include being transparent with the person that was betrayed or had the issue with them? Or they, again, based on character, integrity, and who they are as a person at the core, are they now proactive in, ooh, that was close, now I need to get another phone to make sure that he or she, when they're texting me and calling me, it's not going to this, and now I need to make sure that I do things even further out of town so that she won't find out or he won't find out. You can have this occur with family members. Are they proactive or are they reactive? There are things that they continue to do, things that you may discuss, could be your siblings, and they're reactive. They blame you and say, well, I don't know what your problem is. I didn't do anything. I don't want to hear that. You're just overly sensitive. You just a walking potato chip. I'm not. Do they blame you? Or the other way to be reactive is to guilt you. Talk about all the things that they've done for you. Talk about all the things that you did when you were little. Bring up your past and the things that you used to do to completely take the glaring light off of what they have done. So that's being reactive. Or they can apologize to you profusely and say, I won't do it again. That's reactive. Calling you when you've made a decision to stop all contact or to limit it. They're going to be reactive. They want to go through that. They don't want limits. They don't want boundaries. They don't want anything like that. They don't want to hear correction. Reactive, whether it's apologetic, denial, or blaming, these are reactives. This is a person being reactive, okay, because of a stress or an emotional upset. They are just being reactive at that moment. But is your family member being proactive in identifying the things that you have brought to them and doing a self-search, and you guys do come together and see your differences and see where there may have been some misunderstanding, maybe offense even on your part? Everyone comes together, understand this is what bothers me, this is not what's not working, and all parties identify and go into preventative mode on what is going to work to keep the relationship and build on it despite all the struggles in the past. Do they do that? Or are they reactive? Or do they act as if they're being proactive until the next time? These are the things, guys, that you have to look at regardless of what type of relationship it is, whether it's platonic, meaning that you're just friends, or it is someone that you are dating, someone you are married to, a friend, a business partner, could be the church. These are all the things that you have to look at. As I believe I spoke about in the church as well, things can happen, and that pastor or leader can be reactive, blaming you, denying you, or doing something to try to keep you from making a decision that you feel is best for yourself. If at some point it's like, all right, it's time for me to move and to go forward, it's time for me to leave, and you're getting ready to go, and now all of a sudden they're reactive. They begin to say, well, they know you've always wanted to be over the youth ministry, and so now they promise you that because they don't want you. They're reacting. They're doing whatever because they want to stop you from taking the steps that you need to take. So they react. They weren't going to give you that before, but they give you that for now to keep you from making a decision. Or are they proactive in understanding that this is what I have done? I've offended this person in this way. It was a misunderstanding. I apologize for my part. Let us identify and move forward in prevention through the power of God to not have this happen over and over again. Is your leader doing that? Or are they reactive in trying to give you something to keep you from going, or reactive in blaming you, getting their goons and henchmen, as I call them, the flying monkeys, turning the church against you, doing all these different things? Are they being reactive? These are things that you must identify in a person to know whether or not this is a place that you can be, a friendship that you can remain in, a relationship that you should continue in, based on those actions. There are lots of people who are reactive but not proactive. They're going to do whatever they need to do at that moment to keep things from happening, to defend themselves, to to turn the tables around, but not being proactive in preventing and identifying the problems, identifying them and preventing them. There are people that they can truly turn around. They realize that they've messed up. No one is perfect, but they can realize that they've messed up. They've done something wrong, and they're truly remorseful. And remorseful, when someone has a godly sorrow, it's going to bring change. There's a sorrow that's simply emotional, and it's the moment, but there's no change. Adrenaline rush will kick in, all these different things. But when it dies down, the mind and the heart still remains the same. Now they just figure out a different way to do it, or be passive aggressive in things against you because you call them out on something or you identify something, and there's a deep-seated resentment. So while they're acting as if that they are in agreement with you, they'll do little things behind your back or in a subtle way to kind of sabotage things and to punish you in this covert way. Very common. And then there are those that they are genuinely sorry for what they have done. And then you see the turnaround. Godly sorrows bring about a change. Godly sorrow is recognizing something is wrong, and there is a change and efforts to change proactively. You see that? So know the difference. And what it's going to do is going to keep you from being in this cycle, this constant cycle of up and down, in and out, on and off, hot and cold. When you are dealing with someone like that and you're trying to keep up with a person that's up to date, down tomorrow, east, west, north, south, you are going to lose your mind. You're going to become uncertain because you never know what's going to happen, and then you're going to change and you're going to become shaky and you're going to become unsure of what it is, or if your convictions and your stance was even worth it in the end, because you now become shaky because you're dealing with a double-minded man, a triple-minded man. You're dealing with a person that's unstable in all their ways, and by man I mean male and female. And you have to look inside yourself. We all, as individuals, we have to find out, are we reactive or are we proactive? And be real with ourselves and have the Lord to search and shine a light in your heart so that we don't go through our lives hurting people. We don't go through our lives procrastinating and not being proactive and doing the things that we need to do. And when everything is falling apart, and when things are going from 0 to 100 really quickly, now we're reacting. Oh, what do I need to do? No, a lot of times when you're just reacting, you're not thinking. You're just trying to prevent stuff from happening. And so, guys, we want to already have ourselves and be in the practice of identifying things within ourselves, asking God to open up our eyes and show us what's there so that we can make the changes that we need to make, so that we are better parents, that we are better spouses, that we are better partners, that we are better friends, we are just better citizens to other people, and most importantly, trustworthy to those who really look to us. And you also have to be able to identify these behaviors in someone. Action speaks louder than word. The Bible tells us in Matthew 17, Jesus says, by their fruit you shall know them. Pay attention to the fruit, and don't remain in places and in situations where you're going to end up getting hurt. You're going to end up being depleted. You're going to end up being just pulled down and just stressed out when you continue to try to make something happen, continue to believe the reactions of the person rather than the consistent behaviors that they have displayed. All right, guys, just something to think about.